to all of our viewers. Dr. Ron Oberstein at the Life West Leadership Line. Great to have you with us today. Today, we're going to be speaking with Dr. Russ Rosen. Dr. Russ is a great supporter of Life West. I'll give you a little bit of a history of Dr. Russ. Graduated in '87, makes that 33 years in practice right now, graduated from Cleveland College, LA, and since Cleveland's no longer around, we've adopted a lot of Cleveland, LA graduates at Life West, right? And so if you're a Cleveland, LA graduate out there, give a big shout out to you, and just know that you've got a school on the West Coast. If you're on the West Coast, we're happy to adopt you. And secondly, Russ practiced in Hawaii. So when he graduated, went to Hawaii. He's been coaching doctors now for years, and he just does a lot of great stuff on the neurophysiology of communication. Or if I said that right, Russ, I don't know if it's neurophysiology, but neuro something, right?
Neuroscience.
Neuroscience. Science includes physiology, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Russ has been doing a lot of work with that. Russ, welcome to the Life West Leadership Line. Great to have you.
Yeah, absolutely. Wonderful to be here. Aloha. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Yeah, he's actually in California now, so you've been there for the last couple of years, and Russ is a supporter of the college, a member of our President's Circle, speaks at our Champions Discovery Week. He's just doing some really good stuff, and we're really proud of all the things that Russ is doing. And Russ, I know that you are so dedicated and principled to what's going on in chiropractic, so I'm just thrilled about it. So let's jump into it, man. Let's get going. Listen, I know you've been talking to doctors all over the world, and you've been doing stuff. I know you coach doctors, all stuff. But let me just share with us, and talk to us about what you call this care versus scare, true optimal health model, right? And what have you seen with this since moving in with since this pandemic has kind of settled in?
Yeah, thanks, Ron. So look, here's the long and short of it. My experience with this pandemic is it was a gut check for a lot of doctors, because there were doctors on this side of the coin where it was a ghost town. It was immediate cancellations and nobody came in. On this side, we had doctors where their patients were begging them to stay. So it's an interesting piece of that puzzle. And, you got to start to look at it. Why is that happening? Right? But it's been a real gut check.
Yeah. And obviously, there's been, a lot of stress around this, right? And when you look at the stress that's there, there's got to be a common thread, right? There's got to be a common thread in offices who, there's patients who are like wanting their doctors to stay open, right? And what are you seeing with that? Like, where are you seeing that happen?
Yeah. So look, here's the scoop. In my experience is this: when the patients fully understand what you do, they value your care. When they don't, they don't. So the two things I saw that the offices that they had patients begging them to stay open was, number one, they had a clear and simple message, and number two, they had an ability to communicate that message to other human beings so that their patients got it and they valued it. And I'm not kidding. They literally were begging the doctors to stay.
Mm-hmm. So I guess for me, can you share some common threads around that? Like what is their communication doing? When we talk about the neurology behind communication, how are they framing their communication, and what can our viewers, just a few tidbits on that, if you would.
Yeah, so here's the scoop on this. It's what I call the neuroscience of communications. And basically, here's the story. You've got the reptilian brain. So what does the reptilian brain do for a living?
You asking me?
I'm asking you.
The reptilian brain tries to run our show.
Yeah, it's about survival. It is.
It's the educated mind plugged in. It's sympathetic. It's fight or flight. It's defensive posture. It's all that stuff.
That's it. And it's filtering all information coming in. Understand this. When you talk to your patients, 100% of that information coming in is going through the reptilian brain. And it either gets filtered out, which unfortunately most of it does, or it gets sent to the neocortex for thinking, reasoning, and problem solving. If we get our information past the filter, which again, 95 to 99% of all information coming in is getting filtered out. They're shaking their head while the drool goes like that and slaps them in the face. right? But they're not getting it because it's not getting to the neocortex for thinking and reasoning. Now, if it gets to the neocortex for thinking and reasoning, it'll go to the limbic system. If it goes to the limbic system, we're home. It's a new belief system, and we've created a Rosenite. So there's very specific things that we can do to get all of our information past the reptilian brain to the neocortex for thinking and reasoning. And there's a ton of things that we can do which causes it not to go there and actually causes it to get filtered out.
Good. Can you share an example of one thing that can work to get it over to the limbic system? Like an example, and an example of how it goes over to the neocortex, right?
Yeah, so here's how it goes. What we've been told all these years is to educate, to tell the story, It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Here's how I know. Because we were taught to speak from my neocortex to your neocortex. I was taught to educate you, but it doesn't work. I have to speak from my neocortex to your reptilian brain, and here's how we do it. It's through, I need to make things new, novel, exciting. If it's going to get that information to you, I need to make my story about you versus you about my story. It's not coming in and telling you, let me tell you about chiropractic. It's letting me find out about you and helping you experience from the inside out how chiropractic can help you. And the entire trick to this is Socratic questions. So here's an informational question, Ron. What's your last name?
Oberstein.
Okay. Did you learn anything?
No.
You already knew that. That's an informational question. So did you understand that? Yes, I did. It's an informational question. Here's a Socratic question. Why do you think that happened? Why do you think that is? Where do you think you are as far as your health goes? Where would you like to get to?
Yes.
What keeps bringing this back? Those are Socratic questions. You literally see them do this. They'll go, huh? That's what I want to cause is, huh? And they'll look up. So what do you think had happened? Well, I guess because I ran into that wall, right? Now I know it made it to the neocortex. If I can get my information past the reptilian brain to the neocortex for thinking and reasoning, it'll make it to the limbic system because all our stuff makes sense.
I love it. So share with me this. You know, people are going to start, this thing's going to lift, right? People are going to start coming back in, but they're still going to be carrying this fear around this entity called coronavirus, right? Right. So they're still going to carry that. And it's a great opportunity. We've been talking about this, you know, everyone talks about whether the silver linings are, right? Give me one thing that we could do or a few questions we can ask to shift them from this monster called the coronavirus, which they can't see, they can't feel, you know, they can't taste, so to speak, you know, this unknown thing called the coronavirus, into asking the Socratic method to have them start to think about, wait a minute, it's all about my health.
That's right.
So share with me, how would we do that?
Yeah, so this is how that goes. We need to shift their consciousness. So we need to ask them questions such as, if we're going to be having a conversation, are you concerned about it? If they're not concerned about it, they're not interested in this conversation. Let's assume they are concerned about it. So let me ask you a question. Have you ever been at work or at school where somebody comes in and they're sick and like some of the people get it, some people don't?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so let me ask you this. Have you heard that there are some people that just found out that they had an antibody test and they actually had coronavirus and they never knew it and other people died?
Yeah, I've heard that, yeah.
I know. So why is that? Why did some people get sick and some people didn't?
I mean, I would think, I'm talking from a layperson, I would think that it was, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they had it and their body was able to fight it, right? So they had it, but their bodies were able to just fight it.
Absolutely. And so my experience is this: when you clarify the problem, the solution becomes self-evident. As long as the problem is the virus, you're screwed. As long as the problem is the virus, you're a victim. As long as the problem is a virus, you can't do anything about it. When you understand that the problem is the immune system, the problem is the host, right? Because if it's the host, is there a possible solution? And the answer is absolutely. So if it's the host, what would be the solution to be a bad host right now to COVID?
Yeah. If I didn't take care of myself.
That's it. So I literally would start
to be a bad host. And to be a good host, that makes sense, right?
That's it. So
it.
I would ask you, I'd say, Ron, tell me, what are things you could do to deplete your immune system? Oh, you do this and this and this and this. Yeah, and stress and pain and being subluxated. Well, what if we do less of the bad stuff and more of the good stuff? So eat better, exercise, deal with stress, make sure you're getting proper nerve supply. So does it make sense to you right now that it might be a good idea, to have a healthier functioning nervous system?
Yeah.
Okay, and then my question to you would be why? Why would you want a healthier functioning nervous system right now? Do you see the difference between the two questions? Would it make sense? Yes. You tell me why. Now, they either get it or they don't. But if you could articulate it to me, I know it went to your neocortex for thinking and reasoning. Now it goes into your limbic system, and we've got a Rosenite. I've got a new belief system.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And it's so true. And it's like, obviously, Socrates, right? Just being Socratic in what we're doing, where we're not, like you said, we're not spewing stuff and and it's just going right past them. And they're just doing this because we've all experienced it. I think we all know in a report of findings, the ones who sit there the whole time and it takes them, then they ask us questions to hear our answers, right? And they're the ones who don't take care, but they feel guilty because they want to spend time, but they've already decided, instead of asking them the questions, right? And letting them make the decision.
That's it. They got to go home and think about it, or they go home and they get buyer's remorse. I'm telling you, there are a series of questions you can ask people. Visit 1, visit 2, daily interaction, re-exam, re-report. A series of questions. If you know what you're trying to accomplish and you ask the right questions, it will go into their limbic system. They'll have a new belief system. And my promise is this: the doctors who had patients begging them, and I'm not kidding, begging them to stay open, they got their patients to fully understand this. And that's the difference. Clear message and the ability to ask the right questions, not to tell the right story.
Yeah, but the three things you said was new, novel,
and exciting.
New,
novel, and exciting. And it needs to be about them. Make it about them. Yeah. This is your story. There's nothing more interesting to you than your story. So let me take chiropractic and apply that to you, instead of letting me tell you about Dee Palmer and his dog Fluffy. Now, he had a wife named Ruth. Nobody cares. But if you've got this going on, right, and then I can help you understand how this may help that, now you're interested, because I keep my story about you.
Yeah, I love it. So listen, as we kind of wrap up, what do you recommend doctors do, like right now? What's something that you'd recommend them to do?
Yeah, a couple of things. Number one is I would recommend that if you are still in practice, you are continually communicating with people about how you're keeping things safe for them. You're reaching out to the people who have canceled. And I personally would call them and check in with them, not to try and get them back, but to love them up. Just to let them know you love them and you care about them, and see if you can possibly help reduce some of their fear. And by the way, here's what we're doing to keep it safe for you right now. So if by chance you do need to come in, you can. Right? So just like that kind of thing. And then start to have this conversation so they understand the importance of a healthy functioning nervous system. Again, the people who were shocked thought their patients understood that. But as soon as the pandemic hit, it was, my neck pain isn't worth dying over, and everybody canceled. And they were shocked.
Right.
They got it.
I get it. And the issue I get it. They can be doing this, this new communication, right? The neurology of communication. They can be doing this with friends. They can be doing a great way to practice for our, for the people who are viewing. It doesn't have to be just in your office. It can be with friends. It can be with your spouse. This is the way we communicate, to be able to even get messages across, no matter who we're talking to, right?
100%. 100%. Yeah, the Neuroscience of Communications, I applied to chiropractic. I use it in every aspect of my life.
Yeah, absolutely. And when I find myself in these situations, just giving rote answers, so to speak, and I know it's just coming from my educated, a lot of times when people are talking to me and that's going on, I'll just change the question, out loud and say, well, let me answer this. And then I'll say, why would I think that? And then I will and then boom, and it comes out, because it becomes more lively. And
that's right.
You start to own it, and you viscerally can feel it,
That's right.
That's beautiful, Russ. Well, listen, dude, I want to thank you. And I got to tell you this, we've only have right now about 4 of these out, 4 or 5 of them out, our leadership line interviews that we're doing. But I've got another 6 or, 7 or 8, that are already done, right? Just like yours, and it'll take a few weeks to get out. They have to edit and do all this other stuff around it. But it's really interesting because everyone's saying the same thing. And it's so cool that people are saying, hey, right now, call your patients. Let them know you love them. Let them know you care about them. Not love them, but let them know you care about them. And the people, whatever communication you have with them, let them know that you care about them. Let them know that they are on your mind. Also, if you're open, just let them know that you're open. And if they feel the need to come in, that you're available, but not tell them they need to come in, right?
That's right.
Just let them know. Let them be in their space, but let them know. Because what we're finding out is the number one thing is it's not always the patient who doesn't want to come in. It's the family members who are saying, you cannot go, you cannot leave. If you leave and come back, you can infect us, and all these things that are going on, right? And they don't know, just like you said, how to communicate to them.
That's right.
Because they haven't experienced that communication with themselves. So I love it. Russ, I know, I know that you have this wonderful thing, that you'd like to give to our viewers, a beautiful opportunity to learn more. Can you share what that is?
Yes. So I put together a 75-minute program on the neuroscience of communications, giving real detail about it and then applying it into the consult, applying it into the exam, applying it into the report of findings, and showing you some of my specific questions and how they work. It's absolutely free. Just go to the Optimal Health Coaching System.com/thrive. The Optimal Health Coaching System /thrive. It's killer information. I'm really no fluff all content, so I really hope you'll check that out. And
I'm sure they will. For our viewers, we're going to have that on the bottom. So just take a picture with your phone. My producer, Shane, probably already has it on the bottom. The Optimal Health Coaching System.com/thrive. I like it. I think we have every letter in the alphabet right there. So I love it. Russ, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, for sharing what you've been coaching and teaching, and well, really what you own, and I appreciate you so much, and I appreciate all you're doing for the profession, what you do for the college, and your passion for chiropractic and where you're at. 33 years, brother, is a very significant, 33 principals, 33 years. I'm married 33 years next year, so I'll never forget that, 34 maybe, but not 33. I really appreciate everything you've done and are doing to help perpetuate our vitalistic message in chiropractic. So thank you for being with us today.
Absolutely, my brother. You are one of my all-time heroes. Thank you for what you do.
You got it. To our viewers, we love and appreciate you. Stay safe. This thing is going to lift. I hope you take these gems that Russ dropped on us today and make sure you go to the website and get that 75-minute video. I'm sure it'll change your life. I have not seen it, but I will see it, and I'll be telling my family about it, all the chiropractors in my family. So please, take a look at that. And until next time, when we see you on LifeWest Leadership Line, I just hope that you're safe. I hope you stay blessed and keep spreading the love to other people and live your life from above them inside out. Okay? Good. We'll see you next time.